What's up, everyone? Today we got Pigeons here. Pigeons420. You know who he is. Great man, great man. If you don't, Pigeons, if you could, give us a proper shout out yourselves.
I appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me. First of all,
Of
it's
course.
absolute pleasure, man. Pigeons. I make adult videos on the internet. I've been doing it since 2014, and I'm almost famous. Almost famous.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. So today we got a couple questions. Just want to break down, who is Pigeons420, and then I got a couple grow questions for you. You've been in the game for a while, and I love just to pick your brain about some techniques, what it is that you do to get that quality flower that you grow. So
Fantastic.
the first question is, what inspired you to start your cannabis journey and become the content creator that you are?
Quite frankly, man, I was involved in a car accident in 2013, and it was a pretty damaging accident. Took me off the map for 3 days. That's how long it took me to wake up. And then I was in the hospital for I don't even know, like a week or something after that to get everything back to normal. Got cut up pretty bad, but I suffered some brain damage, and I ended up having a seizure, I guess is what they told me. And it, they put me on a bunch of neurological medication, stuff that I could probably never name again. And I while I was healing, I just felt that I was being hindered because I'm a gamer.
Mm,
And when I was gaming, I could feel that I was really slowing down. I just wasn't as fast as I was before, and it kind of sucked. So I was like, I didn't like the way the medication was affecting me. So I wanted to take it as an opportunity to get full time onto weed, and I managed to get a prescription for it, and then started growing just shortly after that to try to maintain the prescription because the price of weed is ridiculous.
yeah.
And then went from blogging online first to creating videos in 2016. So 2 years of blogging, and then 16 I started making videos and kind of just took it off from there. Someday I'm going to figure out what I'm doing.
Oh, oh. So how did you come up with like the whole Pigeons brand, like the name and like the bird, everything, like the whole get up, man? How'd you come up with that?
Man, I've had the moniker of Pigeons for a very long time. I I grew up listening to music, man. I had no real parental influence. I don't talk to my family or my parents at all. And
Okay.
so they didn't really raise me. And so I craved some kind of role model. And that role model tended to be music. And
Uh,
so there's an album out there called The Documentary by The Game. It was his first solo album after leaving G Unit, and there's a track on there called Start from Scratch. And I could sing the whole song right now, but there's a line in there that says, when there's pigeons in your coop, you got to watch where your birds lay. And that line kind of resonated with me with where I was in life at that time.
okay.
And it stuck, and over the years it's kind of evolved into a man with a message about cannabis and life and love and community, and I just want to spread that message to as many people as I can. So it's kind of just morphed into being something symbolic of a man and a mission with a message.
All right, man. All right. And so how do you say you keep that message clear and stuff? Like how do you not get clouded by all like the clout, the trends and everything? You know what I mean?
Man, I honestly I have no idea, man. I honestly don't know. I it helps that I hang out with people that are cooler than me, like Rob and Chris. So it's like they're cooler than me, and they're bigger in regards to their celebratorial status, if you will. And so it's very easy to be humbled when people are coming up to them, and be like, "Yo, what's up? Yo, Chris, Rob," and I'm in the back just like,
Just like, yeah, I'm here.
"Rob,
I'm
Chris, can I get you anything, man? You guys need something, man?" So yeah, you know what? It's real easy. Nah. You know what? It's not about that, man. I come from some really tough times, some really dark tunnels, man, and it's like it feels good to be in the light. and it feels good to not bear the baggage of so many burdens, and it feels good, man. It feels good. It feels great to be a good person. So I just try to stay level every day, man. Hold the door for people. Remember to smile. Wave big at people passing by. Send them for a loop. It's like those are the kind of things that keep me happy.
So would you say that's like your main motivation to create all the content that you do?
Honestly, my community's like the biggest motivator I got, man. It's like my wife and my son motivate me in my daily life, but my community, the flock, motivates me to do things that I didn't even know was possible. The fact that I'm sitting here in front of this incredible setup and with like this is because of the flock, man. They're the ones that like encourage me and push me to be the best version of myself and to try to push the limits and to challenge the status quo. And I blame them for almost all the trouble I get in. So it's a great outlet.
Oh yeah. And so how do you keep a good balance between like entertainment and education and like the real advocacy of your content, like like for cannabis? You know what I mean?
I think being grounded is really important. I think as a society we have a tendency of trying or focusing on things that we can't fix, like politics
Yeah.
on like a federal level.
Mhm.
We're worried about what's going on overseas, and it's not like it's not important, but it's nothing that you and I can change. And so I try to go inward when I start to lose grasp of what matters most, and going inward is things like focusing on my family, focusing on my mental health, focusing on my wife, raising my son. As a man, raising your children and supporting your wife to be the best woman that she can. That's so gratifying. And if you can satisfy, if I can satisfy that foundation, it's much easier to build something on top of it. And that's my foundation, and my community's in there too, man.
Uh, uh, and so you've been in the cannabis game for quite some time. And how would you say it's changed? Not only like as in how would I explain this? Mm, how it's changed in the community as like astigmatisms and stuff like that. It's been more accepted as the time has gone on, and then as the cannabis itself has changed over the years. Like, how would you say that has impacted you?
Oh man, the process to grow, the process of like the plant itself in my, very green, very virgin existence of this plant is changed dramatically. I can't imagine if I was born in the 60s or the 70s, and to think of how it's changed since then. When I started growing, I shouldn't say there was very limited online sources. You had basic, very rudimentary information, a lot of it very contradicting, a lot of just he said, she said, and they try to fit in the middle.
Yeah.
Um, Now it's like things are really tested, kind of things have really evolved in regards to the science that we have now and the support. Like you didn't see legalization in 2014 when I started.
Yeah.
The legalization wasn't really a conversation at all. And again, 2014 is so novice. That's only 10 years ago. That's only
Yeah.
10 years ago. So it's amazing how much has changed, particularly in regards to law, the process of growing, the amount of home growers that we have now, the techniques that are being explored that just were like taboo back in the day. Topping your plant, believe it or not, was something that was just crazy back in the day.
Yeah.
Now everybody just tops plants like like they cut their grass. It's no big deal. So yeah, I'm very thankful for the place it's come to, because now it's more open, it's more free.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. What would you where would you consider like the game is really going in like the next 5 years, as in like the science route, now that we have like tissue culture and stuff like that, because we didn't have tissue culture per se in the cannabis game back then, you know what I mean? It was more for other plants and stuff, you know. What do
On
you feel like it's going? Yeah.
it's amazing. It's going great places. I think it's great. Like the fact that we're going to be able to Now remember, my monkey brain is only so big when it comes to this tissue culture stuff, man. When you start adding science and math and stuff, it's like I start thinking about crushing stuff and blowing things up and boobs. But like the idea that you're going to be able to take the best portions of a plant from the plant without even just growing it out to be a full plant is crazy. It's like it's going to save us a lot of time and effort, which is only going to speed up the process of getting better science, better medicine, better understanding, better education, these kind of things. So I think it's fantastic. Bring it on. Let's do it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So as you gain more experience over like the years, how has your approach to feeding and your nutrient management changed? Do you still experience, or do you still experiment with like new lines, nutrient lines is more particularly what I mean?
You know what?
Do you
like
stick to your same regimen?
Things have for me have stayed pretty consistent. I started in Miracle Grow soil, so it's like, or in potting mix, so it's like, you know, I did evolve to bottled nutrients, but now I'm using my own product, Stash Blend, and I only need to provide a base nutrient, and that's fairly consistent, and then Stash Blend for the rest. So it's, since using Stash Blend for like the last 2 years, I have stayed with the same thing over and over. So I am a man of, I'm not a man of change when it comes to the garden. So I keep things very consistent.
Right?
That's kind of the way I live by. You.
Okay. And to go more off like the Stash Blend, what did it take to actually come forward with that? Like, what steps did you guys have to approach to bring that type of product to the game?
Man, I had to learn everything about everything in that bag.
Mm-hmm.
That was probably one of the hardest things because I had no idea what humic acid did or what corn steep liquor did, or you know, the beneficial bacteria. The process of extrapolating nitrogen out of the air or out of the environment was all foreign to me. I had no idea, and so taking on George Murray with Growers House, that's who helps us distribute the product Stash Blend. Our scientist was George Murray, and he is one of the coolest dudes. He between him and Chris and Rob, we and myself, we were able to really make it understanding, or like digestible, because this is information that like the average Joe just doesn't use. I consider myself the average Joe, and so getting to know that was an incredible process. Spending an entire year developing it, kind of keeping it on the DL. You know, I couldn't tell anyone about it because, of course, while you're in the process of trying to formulate a product, you don't want to leak anything, because last thing you need is someone else to run and make that product before you, right? Mm-hmm. And so it was about a year that we took to formulate it. The fastest part was the formulating part, believe it or not, because George is a pretty smart guy. He's in this field, so him balancing out the mix didn't really take that long. The longest part was us using it, trying to figure out, you know, what can we do? You know, I threw the kitchen sink at it. I overfed, I underfed, you know, we did everything to try to see it, like what we could do to break it. Yeah, had to. 100%. And so one of the biggest things we missed though was the packages need a moisture regulator in there, like a Bovita, Bovita. For
the little humidity packs.
Yeah, our original product delivery didn't have them in there, so some arrived like rock, so you had to like break it up and stuff. So aside from that, we haven't had a whole lot of complaints or any issues with it. So that was an amazing venture.
Yeah, even then it still works. You just break it up and
it does. 100%. Yeah, it does break out, or it does still work. And you just gotta grind it up. You break two pieces in the middle and just kind of like grind it up together. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. It's still, like, I'll admit, it's a total pain in the ass. I wish we had known that had been an issue before, but it just, when you send things around the country, that's when you start to learn about humidity and moisture issues and fluctuations and so on and so forth. So yeah.
I love it. So what really inspired you to make Stash Blend? Like, you guys just got tired of the way the game was, and you know, we could definitely do it better, you know, Or
100%. We couldn't believe that there wasn't a bag that had everything in it. You can buy a bunch of individual bags, but you can't get just a bag of everything in it. And so like we jammed as much stuff in there as you can, and that's why you still need that base nutrient, those like whatever that base is, whether you're using a granular like a dry amendment or you're using the veg or flower bottles, whatever it is. Boom, you just use the base and everything else is in there. And a lot of stuff isn't using beneficial bacteria. You're not actively extrapolating nitrogen out of the environment. Like these kind of things, it was kind of crazy that when we were like, we want to try to come up with a product that has as many things in it as you can. And then it was crazy to think that no one had done that yet. And so, and it's affordable. It's it's a product for the people, by the people.
All right. Question: what would you say is the most important thing during flowering to ensure the highest quality possible? Sorry, y'all, I'm kind of high.
No, it's okay. I'm really high. The thing is like, I have a philosophy when it comes to growing weed that you can have the best lights, the best food, the best products in the game. You can even have the most knowledge in the game. But if your head's not right and you haven't set yourself up to the steps to get through flower in a positive manner, you're not ready. Now, that's way too vague and that's not the answer anyone's looking for. But when it comes to, if I could give any answer, and of course you guys can always get a more scientific answer from Chris, is the idea of how long to keep your hands on the plant and when to take your hands off the plant. If you're using a decent nutrient line, whether dry or organic or not, the regiment on the back of that product is going to do you pretty damn good. So follow that. Then when it comes to your lights these days, most lights are way better than we need. So you're fine in the lights. But the reality is that sometimes we just don't know when to keep our hands off. So rule of thumb is first couple weeks, you want to try to train and maintain. That's kind of the rule I follow. That canopy to be as flat as possible. So after that 2 to 3 weeks, you really just let her do her thing. Don't touch it. It's the no touchy. It's hard. It's tough. I know you want to get your fingers on there and you just want to get it. Man. I get it. Don't. And I think you'll get it. I think you'll be fine. It's really hard to fuck up today with the amount of information out there. You will, but it's getting a lot harder. I just think we're inundated with so much information that it's really easy to just go so hands-on and fix 100 different things, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different things, and touch and try to do. Where it's like I feel like we helicopter parent. We're over exerting ourselves, doing more work than necessary, and I feel over in return stressing out the plant.
Too much love,
baby. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then speaking on like lights and stuff, so what's the take on the evolution of the lifestyle? So we had the HPS, the big old fucking light bulbs, and now we're really more switching to the LED game. How would you say this impacted your personal growth, and like what type of lights do you really prefer?
You know what? Again, I'm young, man. I'm young, so I've only been doing this. Like I've been growing for real for like, maybe 10 years, maybe 11 years. Like I've been doing it for a lot longer than that, but that doesn't count. It's like there's old guys out there. There's some old cats out there that'll tell you that HPS till they die. And they've probably got a huge HPS bulb tatted across their chest, man. I get it. The MH and the HPS cross like this on their chest. And I get it. But I just feel like LEDs come so far today where it's like you just can't deny the fact that it's all spectrum. They penetrate. They're affordable. You don't need to recycle them. It's just so much easier today to use LED. So I'm about easy. I'm about taking it, working for you. And I feel like that's what LEDs do.
All right. You don't gotta control the heat as much. Yeah.
No, exactly. If anything, you're adding a heater in there. Now it's too
Yeah.
cold in their tent.
And with all this light talk, how do you feel about like the whole UV thing, like the deep red and all that?
This is over my hat, bro. I honestly don't have a clue, man. I grow pretty good weed with a full spectrum LED, man. Supplemental lights used to be a thing. I know that like both my sponsors, Spider Farmer and ACI, offer supplemental lighting, and I'm too dumb to know whether it works or not, man. So I grow pretty good weed without them, but that's me and my setup. So
Would you ever be interested in using them? Like, what's your actual real
well,
thoughts
see,
on it? Like, how
okay,
do you
so
really feel about it? You know what I mean?
well,
Do you feel like it's just a big old cash grab? Is it worth the investment, or is it?
okay, so okay. So it's tea with Ames. I like this. So it's like I believe I'm for it. As far as I know, any when I was blogging back in 2014, I had not a buddy, but like an online colleague that swore by the UVB and adding it like incrementally or even in the last stages of flower. He swore by it. Now, this is also the height of bro science, where you just, if you held a beer can and a joint in your mouth, you were a legit, like you were a scholar, you're a source for information. So it's like, I honestly have no idea, man. I honestly have no idea. I'm gonna say that, of course, I think it's not, of course. I don't know. It's got to be good, man. It's got to be good. Yeah, yeah. You know, I'll flip a coin. We'll figure it out.
Uh, so you were just speaking on like how you grow weed, right? And I know that you started your own classes, I would say, right? You got the if you sign up for his tipper class. Oh, Patreon. Shit, my bad. Let me word this right. My bad. I don't want to fuck this up. If you sign up for his Patreon and get in the tipper tier, you have access to my man's classes. How would you say like what inspired you to start doing that? Like why? Like, you know,
Well,
and I'm not
because
saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying like it's a great thing, but like
it's $25 a month. It's 2 classes a month. They're 30 minutes. The idea was that when I'm sitting in my chat, this is exactly what inspired me to do it. I guess I wasn't sitting in my chat. I was gaming, and there was someone in the chat that said, I'm trying to remember their name right now. It wasn't Clap. Anyways, they said they're done. They're not growing weed anymore. They've failed too many times, and it's just too hard. And it resonated with me because my first response was, how
yeah,
how does it get too hard that you need to throw in the towel? And this is where it comes back to, you can have the best gear, you can have the best nutrients and the most money, but if your head's not in if your mental space isn't in a good spot, you're going to struggle to find the time. You're going to struggle to find the passion, the desire to be in your garden. And that's where a lot of deficiencies start and a lot of issues start. It's like someone shows me a plant and they're like, man, something's wrong with this plant. I want to ask that person, what's going on at home? Why are you having issues with this plant? Are you neglecting it? Are you unable to get into the garden enough where you're just giving it water? Are you not reading the regiment that's on the back of the bottle or the back of the bag to feed? Something's going on at home. It's not a calcium deficiency. It's not a nitrogen toxicity. I can almost guarantee something's going on at home, and it's just affecting your process. And so I wanted to show exactly how I mentally go into the garden, how I challenge myself in the garden, and how I reward myself in the garden. And I feel like if more and more people can come into that same process, that your garden works for you, not the other way around. If you're working for the garden, you're going to be stressed out. It's going to be very challenging. It's going to be tough and overwhelming, and you're going to run into issues. So that's why, I'm slow to change, because I like processes that work for me. And it's like, yeah, I just feel like I wanted to show as many people as I could, or at least those that were struggling, how to grow weed, how to grow good weed. That was it. So that was the idea. And I'm offering it for free on YouTube too, because I'm doing a grow series on YouTube. So obviously I don't want to hide the information, even though I've been putting it out for 10 years. I don't want to hide any information. I still want to make it available. But it's like, if you want to take my hand, you want to come with me, we're going to do this together. And I'm going to make sure that you grow at least 3/4 of a pound.
Some more individual time and stuff.
Yes.
So actually ask you questions. And I love that. That is so nice, dude. That's fucking perfect, dude. You're killing it.
Thank you.
You already know. I showed up to the first class. Can't wait for the second one. It's gonna be sick.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah. I appreciate it. I can't wait, because Tuesday we're going straight hard, ground running.
It's gonna be sick. I can't wait.
It'll be fun.
And so, like, with all this in mind, and I know that you said that you are really reluctant to change and stuff, but over the times, like, as from the beginning to now, how did you find your techniques? Like, the technique that you like keeping to? Because there's so many out there, How did you find yours, and what was it that, like, yes, this is the one, I'm comfortable with this is the money maker?
It's funny, man. I'm still looking for it. Man. I swear. The best way to describe my garden experience is, have you ever watched bull riding? And you see how that guy gets on top and he hangs on with one hand? He gets one hand, and for 8 seconds, he's just, oh my God. That's every day in the garden for me. And, it's just trying to find something that works for me, where I don't make it too difficult, and it changes. You learn the plant is the plant. It's like, I was going to refer them to women, actually, but I'm going to hold back. It's like, if you can figure them out, it's like, they need attention. They need to be taken care of. When they start to act out, it's like there's something wrong, and you need to ask them what's going on. It's like the plant will tell you what's wrong with it. And I know that's a crazy thing to say, but it's like, it's just like a woman. It might not come out and say, I'm deficient on nitrogen, but there's subtle signs, and you kind of gotta run with it. And it's like, once you figure out kind of the process of it, like, every plant goes through the germination stage. Every plant goes through the veg stage. Every plant needs a little bit of training. Every plant harvests. Now, how they get there might vary a little bit, but once you start to figure out the stride, you'll start to realize that it only deviates from the line a little bit here and there. So experience, man. It's just like, you just gotta get your hands dirty and just get to know her, man.
Oh yeah, I love it. That's a great answer.
I know how thin it is. Married 15 years. Yeah, or I'm with my wife 15 years. So yeah, I got a pretty good idea, and she's my queen, man. She's my queen, and it's like, it's like, the plant, women are very valuable, and you take care of them, you treat them right. It's amazing what a man can do with the love of a woman, and it's amazing what a man can do with the love of the plant. So it's like, you harness the two of those, you're going to run at your full potential.
Oh yeah. I love it. Sorry.
Oh, you're okay. It's a hard one. That's a tough one to come back from.
Yeah. So has there been any, like, significant, like, techniques that you really, like, lean towards, like scrogging or topping? Like, how exactly do you get to your end quality?
Say that one more time.
So what type of techniques do you use? Like scrogging, topping, fimming, all of these. Like, what is it that you really lean on, like your go-to method?
Yeah, without a doubt, I am, other than like a D full, I use that lightly. I super crop them, man. I twist every single branch. It's often referred to as the Cushman chiropractics, or super cropping. People have often called it the pigeon's twist, if you will, but I know it as the Cushman chiropractics, and that's essentially just from the main stalk. You are bending everything. So from the main stalk all the way up, you just want to make sure you're getting good pressure and a good twist and a good bend on every single branch that you're going to keep. Because if you're going to keep it, it's because you're going to bear fruit. And if you're going to bear fruit on it, that branch should be strong enough to hold it. So I just make sure that I twist every single branch. Every branch on your plant should be at least as thick as a pencil, generally speaking.
Yeah, yeah. Cool. And so when do you say you really start implementing that in your grow?
Almost right away, man. Like we're talking within the first couple nodes.
Okay.
Yeah, because you want to start training right out the gate.
Oh yeah. So with your like nutrient regimen, would you happen to know like what type of ppms you're feeding at, like how much nutrients you are giving them?
Yep. Yeah, it changes throughout the entire grow. Now, it's funny. It's like I don't use pens anymore. I haven't used a pH pen and a ppm/EC pen in years. Nice. I'm very confident with the water that I use, which is a blessing. Not many people can say that. I'm very confident with the water that I use, and that allows the freedom to be able to, get away without even worrying about it. So that's fantastic. But generally speaking, within the first, say, I'm going to feed within the first 2 weeks of germination, most of the time, because I start to do training pretty heavy. The plant's going to talk to you, so it's really tough to take this information and run with it in your own garden. But I'm going to start around 300 to 600 parts at the very beginning of veg. Well, at the very beginning, it's going to be closer to 300 parts of nutrients. And as you progress through veg, as I progress through veg, I'm going to be finishing veg normally about 8 weeks. That's 2 months. And I'm about anywhere between 900 and say 1100 parts per million by the end of veg. And then as I push through flower, this is like these plants are being pushed. And so by the end, mid to 3/4 of the way through flower, they're probably getting pushed with anywhere between 1,500. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a 1,700 in there sometimes.
Yeah,
Again, haven't used a pen in years, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if those were the numbers for sure.
Okay. And so would you say that really changed since you started your stash plan? Like in the beginning, would you say that you fed it differently, like with different types of nutrients, maybe even like a different type of medium? Like have you switched, as in like maybe using soil to cocoa? And what was the reason that really made you switch to what you were using now?
Well, when I started, I was using Miracle-Gro, and Miracle-Gro I used for like my first 2 years that I got into growing. It didn't take long. It wasn't even 2 years. It didn't take long for once you got into the forums, growers were like, get away from them, man. Yeah, it didn't take long for that. So I probably only grew in Miracle-Gro for about a year. And then right after that, I went straight to ProMix, and I've been in ProMix ever since. And I've been using bottled nutrients since day one. So yeah, not a whole lot of change. Now, granted, the biggest change is adding Stash Blend, because now rather than from going from like 13 bottles, no joke, to 2. So the parts per million has dropped, probably closer to the 12 to 1300, 1200 by the time I'm flowered out.
Okay. And so would you ever try using any type of like organics, like ever hit it with a bed or something,
No.
No.
I don't know, man. Rob immediately was in my head, because the amount of things that I've said no to And someone asked me the same thing about growing in a tent. You ever gonna grow in a tent, P? And I said no. And then I started growing a tent. I was like, fuck, this is so much easier. Wow. And I know that Rob's like, bro, you switch to organic, it's the same thing. But man, it's so easy right now, man. It's so easy right now. I don't want to change because I don't want to be dumb again. It's like when I start, like right now, I play Fortnite, and when I play Fortnite, I use an Astro C40 for a gaming controller. But I'm on PC. So I play everything with keyboard and mouse, and I want to switch to keyboard and mouse because it's better, but I don't want to be dumb again, and I don't want to start at the bottom to learn to get to the top. So that's kind of my reference.
Okay. So that kind of answers my other questions. I was going to ask if you've ever tried implementing any type of like crazy new techniques, like how they use like the topsy-turvy for big growth on tomatoes and stuff like that. You ever try throwing a cannabis plant in there and seeing what happens? Because
I haven't done that in particular, but I have done a lot of wild things to this plant. I've trained some beautiful girls. I've created some beautiful projects and some remarkable trophies. I've strapped plants, like I've had them like sideways, so it grew vertically, and then all the buds grew horizontal. That was called a tip pot. That was kind of interesting because I'd never done anything like that. And then I've bent plants upside down, and I've got a girl in the flower room right now. It's been twisted all sideways, and yeah, abuse him.
Oh yeah.
The plants. Remember, we quit talking. Okay, anyway, sorry.
Yeah, we're not talking about No. So, would you say that you at least try new types of technologies, like especially like I know you use the new AC Infinity. What is that? I always forget the name. That you were riding on it like a scooter, and everybody blew up on the comments about that. It killed me. That was one of the
Terraform, things. The air conditioner. Yeah. Yep. Bro, I love, and I'm slow to change in regards to like my style, but that's not to say I'm afraid of change. I love change. I just don't do it very often on particular things. I'm still using HP Pro Mix, using the same medium, using bottles. I'm stuck on that. But the technology right now in the R space is so awesome. It's so awesome. And I am so willing to take things on to give them a shot, because I learned that I kind of have a role to play in the position that I have with the platform that I have, that I'm in a position where I get these items. I don't have to pay for it. I'm very blessed. Get them whether I like it or not. But it's like I need to put these things through their paces. This is why I got into what I do. I need to make sure that I test the shit out of it. I want to make sure that, hey, you know what? You can roll that Terraform down a 90-foot driveway and you can put 170 pounds on it and it'll hold it. Okay. Tell me who's testing it like that. Okay. So now some of my tests might be a little more relevant to gardening. But I do want to make sure that I'm testing these things. I have a service, and it's not to ACI, it's not to the companies, it's not to these products, it's to my audience. And I want to make sure that I test it. In fairness, it's in everyone's best interests that we review these products and give an honest opinion, because how does ACI ever fix, or any company ever fix their products, if nobody's willing to speak about it? And I know, as someone who has spoken to just about every level at ACI, they want to be the best. They want to be the best. And if there's a product that has an issue with it, they want to fix it. They want to figure it out. So let them know. And like, I'm not beholden to anyone but my audience. So that's the bottom line. So let them know whether there's a good product out there or a shitty product out there. So I'm going to be doing, like, I've already been working on them. I'm dropping product review videos at least once a month. because you got to give something at least 30 days trial before you can give any honest review, especially a piece of technology. Yeah, sure, it turns on and plugs in, but what about anything else?
Yeah.
We're not selling an Xbox back to GameStop here. Okay, so we want it to work.
So what would you say the rewarding moment in your personal life that came from being Pigeons 420? Like, is it like when you're seeing that feedback from the community, or is it when maybe you were actually able to step away from that, like the big 9 to 5 bullshit, and actually make pigeons a career and shit? Was it, what moment was it for you?
You know what? This ride, and this is why I encourage anyone and everyone to do this, because the ride that I'm on and the ride that I've been taken on by my community is second to none. I cannot explain into words how it feels to be anointed in a way that a community will do such a thing for you. Um, it it's a feeling that I wish everyone had the opportunity to feel. Having this kind of support and love and kind of just motivation is amazing. But it's like this happened early, man. My boy, when he was like, I think he was like, tried to forget this as best as possible, but I'm pretty sure he was 8. Might have been like no. He was like 4, 5, 6. I can't even remember, man. Even he got really, really sick, and he was diagnosed with Heinrich Schwanra purpura or Heinrich Schwanra purpura. It's HSP, and it's an inflammation of your blood cells or your skin, and your body swells right up. And he got this, and he was bedridden, man. He was in horrible place, and we were in the hospital for a very long time, and I didn't have anyone to turn to. I didn't have anyone to go to. And I remember putting out a video on YouTube, and I just said what I was going through, and the amount of support and love and affection that poured in, because it's like, as the man of the family, you are the one that has to sleep in the chair. If you get a chair, you don't get a bed. It's a lot of awake. It's a lot of times walking from the room to the parking lot, back and forth. And it's like, when I could turn on my phone and I could just see the pouring support from people that like didn't have a clue who I was. They never met me, but wanted the best for me and my family. It was like that was single-handedly the moment where I was like, I'm never going to let these people down. I'm never, ever going to take anything for granted. I'm going to take advantage of every moment, every opportunity, every second in time where I am gifted something, and I am going to try to make the most out of it. That is why I'm here. That's Pigeons 420, and I will never stop. I won't stop.
Fuck yeah, dude. That's real as shit. Like, I respect the fuck out you for that beat.
Thank you. Thank you. He's 100% healthy. We made it out of that, and like, it was a very dark time that I have completely just locked up. It's gone. Don't even want to think about it. And it's like, yeah, you question a lot of things about your existence when you're put into a position like that, and it really, really makes you reprioritize every single thing that you think mattered. Because guess what? It didn't, and it doesn't matter. So that's how you stay grounded, man. That's that foundation. That's the shit right there where it's like, you can't let this crack, because if this is cracked and broken, there's nothing on top of it that's going to stand.
Well, I'm sorry that you had to go through that, but
hey, we go through it all for a reason. I appreciate your love, and I know where you're coming from, but it's like, this built me to be the dad that I am today, the man that I am becoming. And so it's like, yeah, it's those dark corners that bring us to the light in the room. And it's like, yes, got through it. Here we go. Now nothing's stopping me.
Fuck yeah. Where do you see yourself going in the next 5 years? Like I know that you're starting your classes and stuff. Or is there any type of other things like are you going to start doing what are they called? Speaking at events and stuff like that. Going to colleges, maybe, talking to them, kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what? Like, I have no idea. You know, if I look back 12 months ago and to think about where I am today, I'm already blown away. Like, holy shit, I'm still kicking. I'm still relevant on the internet. That's crazy. Um, I honestly have no idea. The boys and I on from the stash are working like hell. Like, we are grinding. We've got so many projects in the works. Someone asked in the chat about a future genetics line. ... Love to answer that one, but we got some work happening. Yeah, definitely a future in that 100s. That's amazing. I really want to figure out, like, content, man. I want to figure out where I belong on the internet. I don't know where it is yet. I really don't. I don't know if it's still making grow videos. I don't know if it's podcasts. I don't know if it's, I don't know, man. I really don't know. I've been experimenting with my channel for years, trying to figure out what's going to stick. And I'm still trying to figure it out. So in like 5 years, I hope to have a good solid foundation. That's huge, and if I can still build on top of it, then I'm very thankful.
Definitely keep up the tea with P, bro. I love that show.
Thank you. I'm glad to hear that. And as far as right now, I have every intention of only making that show even better.
I love it, dude. It's unique and it's 100% yours. Like, it's not like anybody else's. The fact that you have people show up on the TV screen and everything, bro. I love that. That's so sick.
Thank you. Oh, thank you, man.
Time, bro. Your intro, and like even your intros, bro. You're always just advancing, bro. It's always getting sicker and sicker, bro. You just keep up your game, bro.
Well, I appreciate that.
Super excited to see where you go, bro. I love it.
That's very kind. That's very kind. Thank you, man. Thank you. And hearing that this is what I'm talking about, man. You motivate me, man. I feel you on that. It's like, thank you, and I want to make it better. Mrs. P, shout out to Mrs. P, my producer. It's crazy. My wife's working for me. That's a huge accomplishment, man. That having a family operation is massive. That's a huge accomplishment. She's killing it. She's doing incredible things, and seeing her do her thing up here is just fantastic, man. And she's gonna be the star of the show herself if she isn't already. So yeah, I want more. I want more always. Keep coming. Yeah.
So what really inspired you to start Tea with P, man? Because that was 100% different than everybody else. Like, it was 100% unique. I love it.
Thank you. Well, I knew this goes back to before even From the Stash, when Rob and I sat down and had a conversation about starting a podcast and starting From the Stash. Him and I both said we wanted to have our own podcast, and I don't know a lot, but I've got an opinion about everything, and so I know I'm not alone. I feel like there's a few other like-minded people out there, and I just want to talk shit on the internet, have some fun, and share some nudes, man. It's like there's so much going on in our space right now, whether it's drama, whether it's new relevant people, characters stepping up to the plate like yourself that are doing incredible things, making great content. I want to highlight that. I want to show that. There's so many diamonds just hiding behind the dirt. So much. Our community is just barely it's like a spotlight in a tunnel, man. It's like there's so much beauty outside that tiny hole, but all we get to see is just that one little hole. The same 5 guys, same 10 guys on the internet. It's like, no, this space is huge, and it's full of incredible people doing incredible things, and I want to talk about it. That was it. That's it.
Oh yeah, bro.
And I wanted it to be different. that's my biggest thing is like, I've been doing content since 2014. I was blogging on the internet. Like I've evolved. I've seen how content has shifted over the years. And I've watched people come, I've watched people go. Good people have crumbled here. And it's like, I want to stay relevant. And I think the way to do that is to stay new, stay fresh, stay unique. And so when I started Tea with Pete, I wanted a podcast studio, working out of the studio, making videos. I didn't want to do a streaming platform. So there's like StreamYard, there's Zoom, there's a bunch of different kinds. And I am not shitting on anyone that uses these programs, because guess what? It's taken me way too long to figure out how to do this by myself without those damn programs, that I understand why they're so attractive. But it's like, I wanted to have people on the TV. I wanted to be able to pull up my own highlights and my own videos and have my own lower thirds pop up and graphics for whatever I wanted. And I just wanted freedom to create a nudes show. Like you would watch, and I'm not throwing out a mainstream show out right now, a mainstream news show, but I want it to be just like you turned on the nudes mixed with like a late night show host, but not a late night show. I didn't want like a Jimmy Fallon or a late night with Jimmy Carter or whatever. I just wanted, well, it's Tea with P. So but taking those together, that was the idea.
And so, I'm not really, I'm here in America. What would you say that how to explain this one? Jesus. What would you say your different challenges would be versus like here in America? Like since you guys have it federally legal, I'm not too in touch with all of like the laws and stuff that you guys got going on over there. That's really why I'm asking. With like the whole homegrown situation and stuff, like would you say that you were really blessed in your situation when it comes to the start of your content creating, or would you feel like you would have done a little bit better somewhere else?
Like another platform?
No, as in like another like state, like where the laws were,
you know what? I am a very
refugees like who ran to other places and stuff like that. And I just really wanted to get your insight on that whole refugee situation, you know.
I see. Yeah, I see. You know what? I am very blessed. I live in the greatest country in the world. I'm Canadian. I lack freedom and personal rights like many. However, I live in the greatest country in the world. And then I want to caveat that with, it's okay to believe you live in the greatest country in the world. And if you're in America, I sure hope you think you live in the greatest country in the world, because you do. You do. Okay. But I do. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, I'm never going to let the government tell me that I can't grow weed. That's the second thing. Now, I'm never going to condone anyone to break the law, but this is my own philosophy.
Yeah.
And I think what the government has done with cannabis in Canada is an absolute joke. It's a travesty. And we stumbled, fell, tripped when we had perfect examples of what not to do in other places like Colorado and Ohio. And yet here we were. We headed it with the chief of police. The cannabis committee for legalization was headed by a former chief of police. And that was the route they were going to take. Not science, not consumer, not quality, a former cop. And it's just like,
wow.
So yeah, I'm so thankful that we have it. But man, yeah, I'm very cynical when it comes to government, and very cynical when it comes to my government. And I just don't think they did it very well at all. For those that don't know, I live in Manitoba, and Manitoba is a state in Canada. I'm going to stand on that. It's a province, but
I was going to say, isn't it provinces?
It is a province. It's just easier to have a conversation. But anyways, it's a province in Canada, and we weren't allowed to grow. When the federal government said, "Yeah, Canada, go ahead, you can grow," our our province said no. And it was like, okay, damn. So yeah, I'm very fortunate that I'm here where I'm at, and I think if you are somewhere where you cannot grow, you need to do what you can to either A, get to a place where you can, or get in a state of legality, not in a state where you live, but a state of legality. I chose a medical prescription where I qualified. I paid at the time, which was an atrocious amount of money. It was like $500 a year. And then followed through with it. So and I tried not to violate any rules and processes along the way, which I think is very important if you want to just maintain legalities. So, and even with people ask, would even being legal, why are you still medical? And it's because it's still provides me way more freedom than the legal market.
Okay. Well, I'd like to take this second to open it up to the chat. If you guys have any questions, please, drop it down. Make sure to put question just like this.
Shout out to the chat. Very lively ones in here tonight. Shout out to you guys. I see you guys. I see Frankie and Saul and Mama and Anthony. Good to see you guys, man.
Booze, man. What's up, everybody? Absolute. Dude. Oh, everybody's showing up. Thank you guys. So first question we got is, what would you use as your base nutrient alongside of the stash plant?
You can use any base nutrient. So I use VPS, Ventana Plant Science. And the reason I want full disclosure, the reason I use them is because they are by Growers House. And I don't get paid, but Growers House is the distributor of Stash Blend. So I just went with VPS. Yeah. That's why. No, I don't get paid or nothing like that. No sponsorship. But that's it. But you can use any base nutrients, whether you're using like GH, whether you're using Blue Planet, Green Planet, you name it. The base nutrients, those first two bottles, you're good.
666.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. And just if I may, just if you're trying to test it, because of course I've never used every other nutrient, start light with the dosage of the base and then work it up as you go. She'll tell you.
Okay. You want to read this one?
Me? Oh yes, 10-4 Ames. Tell them I said hey, but my question is if you can explain bud packing and the benefits of and from applying bud packing to your grow. I'm not certain of the process of bud packing.
Yeah, you gotta elaborate a little bit more, Levels. I'm not even.
Are you're not referring to bud back building, perhaps? Maybe in a way. Yeah. But hello, thank you for the question.
Yeah. What up, Levels? How you doing? All right. Next question.
When should you stop using Stash Blend in your grow or up to harvest? Week 6, or at least 2 weeks before you end, so that the microbes can finish doing their thing in the pot.
Okay.
Yeah. So don't feed it right up to harvest. Now, if you do have any questions about Stash Blend, if you go to stashblend.com, there's a frequently asked questions page. Feel free to check that out. But I'll answer anything and everything you need.
Yeah. And so you still do your flushing, or do you not flush?
I don't flush anymore, and it's been years and years and years since I did. I started to learn that the significance of flushing was not there a long time ago. I prefer leaching. So okay. As I just described with Stash Blend, I let it finish the last couple weeks. Now that's the exact same thing I would do with a bottled line of nutrients as well. So normally on a bottle of nutrients, you will see 8 weeks on the thing, on all the way up. You'll see the 8 weeks. I'd feed to the 8, and then I would let it go. Most genetics aren't going to finish at the week 8. They're typically going to be week 9, week 10 anyway. So I, generally speaking, am going to let off for the last 2 weeks.
Okay. All right. Sick. So, what has been your favorite cultivar to train?
Oh, Malma. You know what? It's funny. It's like when I describe grow and herb, it's like There's only a few examples that fall outside of the line of acceptability. I'll admit the new dog that I did, and I'm blanking in regards to the breeder on that. Gee, it might have been. No, I'm not. New dog. It was the new dog was the genetic, and that's the one that I bent upside down, twisted around, and gave her the old "How do you do?" And she loved it. But the ones that I didn't like were the Pineapple Express and AK-47.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just both of them hermied on me while I was doing it. So of course, no, I only grew those both. Well, Pineapple Express I grew twice, and it hermied both times from two different. So I think, but I was putting it through some incredible training regimens. So I have a feeling that I stressed the shit out of it, and it was my own fault.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say I got a what is it? I got Blueberry Cross with the Pineapple Express, and then I also have just the Pineapple Express, and I grew them out a couple. Well, I grew out the Pineapple Express, and never had a herming problem.
No, and you train them pretty
Oh
heavy.
yeah,
Good.
oh yeah,
good.
Oh yeah. I like close to.
I
like
need to go back.
Training. Like I'm weird. I like that thing to literally look like a bonsai tree.
Yeah, I totally get it.
Yeah.
Yes. Me too.
All right. Oh, there we go.
All right. So tell Pigeons I said, hey, but my question is if you can tell us about what bud backing is. Okay, so I think he's referring to bud back building. Everyone on YouTube, he's the only one who talks. Yep. Bud back building. So I was like I said, I was a blogger before I was a vlogger. It's the best way to put it. So I used to type before I used to video. And there was a few people that I looked up to quite a bit. There was an individual by the name of Light Addict, still a dude on Instagram. You can check him out. He's one of UK's biggest, was biggest. I think he moved to America now. One of UK's biggest grower content creators, award winning, in fact. And there was, for long story short, he described. He's the one that taught me this, but essentially, if you at about week 7, 6, 7, if you snip off the very top of the bud itself, so the flower itself, if you take off, like, say, the top 4 calyxes or whatever those little are, essentially it's like topping the plant, and it allows the bud to rather be elongated to more of like a rounded appeal. And he specifically said that this process is not to increase bud size. It's only to allow the bud to kind of plump out a little bit. So essentially it was for those that were trying to sell their product and wanted a rounder bud rather than an elongated bud. Okay. That was it. So bud's not going to grow anymore. It's not going to grow any bigger. It's just rather than growing up, it grows out. So again, this is a process that I did like 9 years ago. And I just tried it, gave it a shot, saw that the buds did in fact kind of change a little bit, and then documented my process. And that was
how round we talking? Like fucking baseball round?
No, just enough to just, kind of give it a bud like look, okay, rather than
like a foxtail kind of look.
Like a foxtail. Yeah.
Okay.
It's actually referred to. I don't know what bud backing is, but that's what bud back building is. Okay. So yeah, bud back building.
Definitely first time I've heard about that. Yeah. As well. I can imagine why it works, but it's just I don't know. Seems like a waste of time to me.
It 100% is. Yep. That's why it's not for really anyone. It's not for anyone. Especially if you're not selling your buds. But I encourage you to try. I encourage people to try anything. If you second guess it and you're not sure, try it. Give it a shot. Take one bud, just the top quarter inch, not very much.
Okay. So let's I have a couple questions about the types of flowers that there are, like versus auto flowers, low riders, all of this. Like, what is it that you really prefer?
Well, I'm a regular kind of guy.
Mhm.
I like regulars. I got no problem searching through males. Never really have. I feminine, like I got no. I really honestly I don't really care for any. You want to grow autos? I got autos out there. Yeah, don't care. It's a beautiful plant. Comes in many varieties.
There's a lot of people who just like prefer to stick to like certain ones and stuff, and that's mainly why I was asking. It don't make no sense. They're all
Nope.
beautiful.
They're all beautiful. That's where I'm at. I like boobs.
I like boobs. I love it, man. That's awesome. Happy birthday to the kiddos. Oh, whose birthday? What I missed?
Happy birthday, kiddos.
Yeah. Oh, dang. All right, man. Barely would have been here sooner, but it's kiddo's B-day. Oh, dang.
Kiddo's birthday.
Oh, well, tell me.
Astro, good to see you, man.
Bro. Come on.
I know. We'll allow the birthday. We'll allow it this time. This time.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to the kiddos, Astro.
Dad
duties, always love it.
Mm-hmm. That's great. Like, speaking of dad duties, how do you say that you balance your career? Your Pigeons420 versus your home life.
Well, it's time, man. Time. Time's the biggest issue. It's like work ends every day no later than 5 o'clock. It's like I'd like for it to be earlier sometimes, but wouldn't we all? But 5 o'clock. It's I cannot respond to my messages, talk on comments, check my immediate, nothing. Between 5 and 9 is family time. That's non-negotiable. And then that's kind of how it's always been. Always. So I would end up typically gaming. We'd put our kid to bed at like 7, 8 o'clock until he was like 10, 11 o'clock, 10 or 11 years old. And then my wife and I we'd have an hour and then to ourselves. And then I would game at 9 o'clock every night. It's just kind of how it's been for over decades. And, that's really it, man. I live by a saying that he who doesn't like his life makes work his life. I don't want that. I love my job. I love what I'm doing. My career, if you will, this thing is amazing, but so is my family. And I would live in a cardboard box. I don't care. If they're happy, I'm happy. And that's it. So I lost my family to work. So it's like, and I never had a relationship with my father. I don't even like saying that. I don't like saying that I've never had a relationship with it. I just hate referring to him as my father. That's the thing. But if I use his real name, you guys be like, who the fuck's Ted? But no, it's, I lost a lot of respect because I had respect for that man for many years because I thought he was working to support his family. But then when I became a dad working to support my family, I realized, oh shit. No, he didn't care. He much rather be out with the guys doing whatever the fuck guys do in the military. So it's like, I get it. So then that respect turned very quickly. It was like, okay, get it, got it. So yeah, that's it. I don't want to make work my life. I love my life.
Oh yeah, bro. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry to hear about that with the father.
It's life, man.
Yeah, it's hard for a lot of like the military guys to really integrate back into their families. They just get stuck in this fucking like dude mode, like alpha mode, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just really hard to even hold your kid after a bunch of shit happens.
You know what? It is, and I watched the military destroy him. I watched him go to. He was in Bosnia, Croatia, the Gulf War. He was in Iraq, Afghanistan, and it's like, yeah, that shit does fuck you up. It really does. But you know what? It also fucks up your wife. It also fucks up your kids. It fucks up your communities. And it's like, I can't tell anyone what to do because I don't know what that life is like. But as a child of war, or of someone who went to war, it's like it destroys you too. I'm a victim too. And it's like I can either be a victim, or I can take control of my life and ensure that this doesn't happen in the future. I can give my son a father. I can give him someone to look up to, a role model. I can give my community a strong, confident male who can coach, who can take care of the yard, the groundkeepers, you know, the volunteer stuff. Like, that's the stuff those are the real people that don't get enough praise. The real heroes are the parents that love their kids, that raise their communities. Those are heroes. Those are people that we don't talk about anymore. And that's where all of our attention should be. And yeah, so it's like, I know a lot of good men and women we lost to war that got to come home. But I know a lot of good men and women that went to war, lost a lot, but still managed to pull themselves together and be good people.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I don't know what the excuse is. So if
don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to
I'm trying to find it. That's the thing. That's my journey. Is like, I don't know what the excuse is. Like, where the line of mental disability or PTSD, like, I don't know what it is. I'm not a doctor. I'm just a victim of it too. And so yeah. Sometimes the ones that don't get talked about enough are the ones that had to stay home.
I feel that 100%. And again, I'm sorry that you had to go through that, man.
It's all
super
good, man.
Tragic, but
appreciate you.
Fuck, bro. I ain't trying to be a dick, and this is kind of dickish, but it made you into the fucking amazing man that you are, bro.
You're absolutely right. You are absolutely right.
You're 20, changing people's lives, bro, making people happy every time that they see, oh, Pigeons on live. Oh, fuck yeah, I'm gonna go over there and watch that, bro.
I appreciate you. Thank you, man. Thank you. And you're 100% right. It turned me into the man that I am today, and the man I'm gonna be, because it's something you have to work on every single day. A lot of good men go down a lot of crazy paths of spirals of insecurity, and it's like, you know, every day is not a struggle, but every day is a grind. You know,
definitely, most definitely grind. Definitely, yeah. It's hard to be a good man all the time, but if you can definitely achieve it, then you'll be a great man.
Hell yeah. Shout out to Main Dad too, right there. Prime example right there. Being a father with an example of how not to do it. Sometimes that's the best example, just not the one we want.
Facts. But that's life, though. That's life. That's
life, baby. You're right. That's life. That's the card we were dealt, man. And that's the difference between those that are going to play the card they were dealt or fold and walk away. And I'm playing it. Thing is, it's a 2-8. It's a horrible hand, but I'm playing it, baby. You think I got aces. You
got the team, you know, you got Rob.
That's it, baby.
You know, so you're killing it.
That's right.
Oh yeah. So speaking of the team, how would you say that that really all came together? Were you just like some homies that grew up together and decided we could change the game, or was it the game that brought you together and then you guys just decided we're going to change this shit?
My homies?
Yeah, Rob and all that.
You know, it's like oh man, you know, my homies is what I meant to say. My homies. Rob and I were on Dago's Grow Tube round table in like 20, I don't even know. It was a long time ago. It was before the 2020s. And we were very, not new, but like very, very, I still didn't show my face. And so we both went on the show, kind of clicked. And then my community was like, yo, you need to talk to Cannabis Lifestyle TV. And they inundated my comment section like over and over and over and over. I was like, okay. So Chris had us both on his podcast or on Garden Talk. I think we were the first 2 episodes, maybe, or something like that. Maybe we weren't. I have no idea. I can't remember. I was the number 1 episode until Chad Westport came along. Okay. Chad Westport got handed a alley-oop Hey, big buds, huh? Big buds. Anyone can talk about big buds and get 1 million views. Come on. Huh? Anyways, I had to talk about training. Anyways, no big deal, Chad. Love you. We were both on that podcast. It was great. It was a great time. And then Rob and I came off the podcast, and we finally met up and we had this chat. And like I kind of alluded earlier, it was like we needed to start things together. You need to do something. We need to do a podcast. We're like, okay. And for some reason, we were like, we need someone else. No, it was because we came off of Chris's podcast. We were like, we need someone else. And so we reached out to Chris. And Chris was like, I could probably do like Thursdays. And that's really how it started. And then it took about, it took a couple months to really see like, holy shit, like people really enjoyed the content. People really enjoyed the conversation. People really enjoyed the three of us together. We're three entirely different dudes. Like, yeah, Rob and I get together, but we are three entirely different dudes. And so it's just a great dynamic. I think we pull the best out of Chris, and he pulls the best out of us. And it's a dynamic. Those two boys they're my brothers, man. They are homies, man. Those are two guys that I miss every time as soon as I leave, because talking to them is like talking to friends. I can just jive with them in ways that I can't jive with other people, and it just feels so good. And so, yeah, yep. I have pictures of them in my room.
I love it. Right there by the nightstand. Right there.
No.
Look at that. So how
there's
does
screensavers on my phone.
Just all you guys hugging?
Yeah. So
all adorable, like I love it. So how would you say, since you're a part of the stash and you guys make your content together as a group, how would you say you really decide making your content versus making group content? Like, does that ever hinder your decisions on what type of videos and stuff that you're about to release?
You know what? Like, I've never worked with a better group of guys. I'll tell you, we've talked to a lot of creators over the years that we've like wanted to work with and stuff, and it hasn't worked out. It hasn't worked out because it's like everyone's on, and not for negative reasons. I just mean everyone's grinding in their own way and doing their own thing, and you just don't find people that want it as much as you. Like, and I mean want it. Eat, breathe, sleep, repeat. And content, life. Like, this is them. This is what they want. And they don't just want it for themselves. They see the big picture. Those two boys, I know without a doubt, if I ever needed anything, those two boys would have my back, hands down, the shirt off their back. And I mean it in a way like, it's just like, you don't get it. I don't know. It's like this space just doesn't attract that community approach to success, where it's like people are just grinding and they're doing it for themselves. But to hear a guy like Rob, for example, will take nothing to ensure that he gives something back. And I know it's easy for me to say because I'm on this side, but it's like literally the dude will take nothing for just to give anything. And it's just like, you just don't see that. And Chris is the exact same way. He wants to see the success of all of us. He wants to see everyone win. And it's like, to me, that attitude is so ironclad. Like, you can't beat it. That's the attitude to have. Like, I understand self-preservation and I understand getting shit done because we've all got families, but there's so much more to sharing a whole pie than sharing a piece of a pie, while this other existence of pie just floats out there and no one gets it. And it's like, that's why I fucked with those guys. That's why I know that no matter what, they will be here forever. They will, because that's the attitude that just it exists. It's persistent.
All right. All right. And that's fucking amazing to actually have like a group of fucking people that are always there for you and to back you and to fucking
It's hard
just
to
want to
find.
see you. Yeah, dude, honestly, just people who want to see you succeed without anything in return. Like that is insanely genuine and hard to fucking come by.
Hard to come by. You're right. And it took the internet to find 3 people from around the continent for it to figure it itself out. Like the podcasts that have started up with people that have like tried and just immediately imploded because they started arguing and figuring, it's like it's hard to get 2 people to compromise.
Yeah.
Try to get 3 people to compromise. It becomes an order of magnitude harder. And these guys make it so easy because it's the betterment of the group. It's the betterment of the 3 of us always. And if Rob or Chris is out there succeeding on his day on his side hustle, fucking yes. And it's like if in any way he can use anything I got to get it, then go. You know what I mean? So it's like I ain't holding nothing against nobody. And it's like, some you might like there might be animosity amongst others because it's like, well, aren't you worried about something that they're doing? No, nothing. I want success for them, and that's it. Because it trickles, man. It trickles. Like their coattails are getting long. I can bring a family on them now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It sucks fucking eating at a table by yourself. Why not?
Lonely at the top, man. It is lonely at the top.
Yeah.
So says the guy above me. I haven't got there yet.
Yeah.
I heard it in a song.
Yeah. We'll ask Chris again later on.
Yeah, I'll ask him again. Yeah.
Yeah. So would you say that you guys definitely like share ideas and stuff, even for like your
100%.
personal channels? We're like, hey, let me spitball this with you. Does this sound good, look good?
Yep, always. The amount of things I'll take it myself. The amount of things I've inspired the 2 of them to do is crazy. The amount of things they've inspired me to do, crazy. It's just, yeah. It's just a free flow of information. I'm constantly trying to help them. They're constantly trying to help me. It's like we represent each other now. We're from the stash now. It's like in sync, but better, right? So it's better looking for sure. We don't sound as good, but it's like we represent each other. And it's like if I'm gonna go out here and talk shit about Rob everywhere I go, or go out and talk shit about Chris, it hurts me. It hurts me. So it's like, no, I love those guys, man. And if I was gonna talk shit about them, I'd talk shit about them to their face, and you'd never know about
it. Yeah, that's
like a good relationship, like a good marriage.
Yep. Behind closed doors.
Of course. My wife and I'll have issues with each other, right? But the second we walk out that door, whoop, it's golden, baby. Golden, baby. And you'll never hear me say otherwise because my relationship deserves that.
Yeah, and plus, like, you can't, like, don't let me speak out of place, but, like,
Please.
As an outsider, you can't really fucking sit here and talk trash about them because then it just looks like your dynamic's fucked and then people don't really, like, I don't know, trust.
There's nothing worse than you're sitting at the dinner table with someone and some dude's just constantly bitching about his wife or his girlfriend. It's like, well, then why are you there, dude?
Yeah.
Why are you doing this to yourself, man? You gotta walk away. Gotta walk away. No,
it'll be okay.
She doesn't sound like the crazy one. You do. So it's like, it's in everyone's best interest to just, make it work, man. Make it work. And honestly, we're men. We're grown ass men. We all have children. We are fathers. We are men, and it's like, and adults, and it's like, we understand that unless we are gonna fist fight in the streets of LA, that we don't have a problem. Like whatever the problem is not a problem, right? We have little hurdles that between the 3 of us will get over. I'm the shortest one, so it's like we're getting over it. I'll tell you what.
Love it. All right. Yeah, man. That fact that like a successful team could really just take you to the fucking top, man. That's just a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. And would you say that you learned a lot from them, like over the years, like different techniques that you've started implementing in your grow?
You know what? It's funny. We don't talk garden like at all. Like
Yeah.
every now and again, like was when we did Stash Blend, but other like we don't talk garden. It's all business. It's life. It's love. It's passion. The garden conversation really ends off as soon as you go offline. Like there's no garden conversation anymore. We're all just doing our things in our garden. It's like it's you might ask how is the garden going, but no one's diving into really anything. Well, I shouldn't say it. It's like we all got crazy little things going on, but there's just when you sit down with good friends, you want to catch up. You want to talk about what's going on, the new things, and garden just doesn't always get in there.
Yeah. That's essentially work, right? You don't want to talk about work while hanging out with your friends. You just want to relax.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we talk a lot of work. Yeah, it's just not garden. And you're right. It's business, but it's like you only see. We talk business all the time, but when we get together, it's like we let loose, man. Have fun.
Okay.
I see these guys all the time now. It feels like.
Dang. I'm not gonna lie. I've had one of my dogs cremated and used its ashes to soil blend. Is it okay?
It's not weird. It's not weird.
Weird.
I'm sure it's a source of something.
Yeah.
Even though I think it's fair to say in a sentence that says this isn't weird, it's weird. That's kind of weird. That's kind of weird. Yeah, it's all right. Yeah. But thank you for the disclaimer. Made me cry even when I smoked. That's fair. Paying homage. It's still weird, but it's paying homage.
Reminds me of like some what is that? How high type stuff? You ever seen that one?
Yeah. Or how about American Pie when when the he finds the turd and he eats the turd truffle? No.
Oh God, no.
No, that's not it.
That's not it. No. Turd truffle.
Oh God.
I love that. No, there's a couple things to be said about that, like returning into the earth and stuff. That's real natural. It's not weird.
No, I'm sure there's a name for it.
Yeah.
Or a religion named after it.
I was going to say maybe a religion. Yeah. So with the whole the stash blend, I know we spoke about this earlier, but do you guys really have any projects in the mist that you can really just let us know about? I know you're talking about your own little seeds and stuff, but just tell us what you could.
Nope. We've got things in the works. That's all I can say. Yep.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Wow. We got some things. We're like, I'm telling you, like our plate is so full of projects and things to come. It's just like so fun right now. So fun. Like we just finished an event and we're already starting to plan the next one.
Have it. Well, I can't wait. I'm definitely going to try to be a part of that event.
We're gonna make it a little more accessible. LA is not as cheap as like Vegas if you wanted to fly into. So it's like maybe Vegas we're thinking might be a better location.
Yeah, and so that's actually another question I had. So when you guys do sorry, when you guys do that and figure out where you want to do your events and hold that type of venue, essentially, how do you guys determine that? Like, is it just really just giving a bunch of people calls like, hey, let me use your spot? Or
we well at this point, yeah, we know people that can help us out in that regard. Yeah. But no, it's like first of all, it has to be accessible. Like the event we wanted it to be free. We wanted it to be like everything was free. The admission was free, the alcohol was free, drinks were free, weed was everywhere. We just wanted to make it so that we can have the most amount of people feel as comfortable as possible, have the best time. And that's really it. It's just, we want the community to be there. We want them to be able to pull up. And we think if we do it in Vegas, we can do it there because it's a very, it's a common meeting area, but it's also affordable to fly in and fly out. Like the airlines are affordable because they want you to come, right? They don't want you to leave, but they want you to come.
Yeah.
And so it also gives people something to do. If you could come out to an event on a Saturday night, Friday evening, you can go shopping in the strip or whatever. Things to do. Whereas if we do it in small town Manitoba, there's nothing to do. And it's just, it'd be boring. So that's the idea.
Okay. We're like leave other attractions for the downtime kind of thing.
We'll say that one more time.
Leave other attractions for the downtime when you're.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Yep.
Okay. That's cool. So when you guys do your events, you guys usually how to explain this one? This one's more just a random question that just popped into my head, so just bear with me while I work it through. So I know you guys did like the Growers Gauntlet and all that. What do you say it would take to hold that kind of event? Like a lot of working with other people and stuff like that, real communication and shit,
Yeah.
or is it a lot of just like plan based stuff? Like, okay, this is when we're going to do it. This is when we're going to do it, and you don't have a lot of backing, and it's coming from essentially like the community.
You have to hire the right people, man. You
Yeah.
know, it's really important to hire the right people. You want to have event coordinators. You want to be able to have security is important. You want to make sure you got the right venue because you don't want to have people going out. You know, this venue is a little ghetto. You want to make sure it's safe. You want to make sure you put the right people in charge because the last thing you want to do is do it yourself.
Yeah.
If you do it yourself, it's stressful and it'll essentially be done to the best of your ability. If you just pay somebody who's meant to do this kind of stuff, they'll make it look amazing. And if it doesn't, you won't pay full price. So you'll still have the event. Nobody will know and you won't pay full price. So you want to have the right people in charge, surround yourself with greatness. That's kind of this mission statement of life. So yeah, it took a lot of great people in charge.
Okay. Okay. Well, I just want to get some more questions. If anybody has any, make sure to drop some comments. You know, love to love to answer some of your questions. Fucking dabs are kicking in. Sorry. Love to answer some of your questions. So make sure to drop a comment. You know, we got Pigeons here, bro. He'll answer anything, bro. The man's a fucking genius. He's smart. Don't let him undersell himself. The man knows what he's talking about. Okay.
Appreciate you.
Oh man. So real quick while we wait for some comments, questions. What is next for Pigeons420?
Well, I want to double down. I want to make sure T with P is a primary focus for me. As I mentioned, I'm going to start implementing product reviews on my channel at least once a month, but I want to get enough of them kind of hammered in that I can do 2 a month. I want to take my gaming channel off. I really want to see where it goes because I am going to take the gaming community by storm, and I'm the best stoner Call of Duty player there is. And I'm going to enter champions. I'm going to win, and I'm going to be called out because I'm a pothead. I'm going to be fired from the team, and I'm going to have to start my own league, start my own getting high gaming league.
Stoner league.
So yeah. So that's really where I see myself in the next little while.
Oh yeah. Got a question from Anthony Revdy. Pigeons, where do you see you? Oh shit. Where do you see the From the Stash show in 1 to 3 years? Holy fuck! I need. Dude.
You know what? We're gonna. I see it taking off, man. The things we've Pigeons420 is my gamer tag. The on Twitch too. Sorry. From the Stash is already doing amazing things. The idea of us, we've got an incredible genetics journey coming up, like incredible, pairing up with the man himself, some incredible peeps. You know, I would like to see us find like a full-time studio somewhere. Now, this is my own personal thing. You know, I'd like to find a common meeting ground where we don't always have to grab an Airbnb somewhere and retrofit it for a studio. You know, I'd like to see us have a full-time home, but that's very hard because we're 3 guys all over the continent. So yeah, you know, we have another show coming up. We have a new channel starting, Uncensored, which is, I think I would personally I bet you the Uncensored channel does better than the Stash channel. Sorry, I'm going to cough here.
Well,
haven't even had a who yet. I'm already coughing. But yeah, I could see our Uncensored channel taking off.
What makes you feel that?
because it's less educational based, like search heavy, algorithm heavy, and more three dudes that love each other getting high. Okay, that was a little gay, but like just three dudes. Just no, actually, it's pretty gay. No, we'll keep it. We'll stay. That's gay. It is what it is. We don't mind. It is what it is. We're gonna have fun.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yep.
Yeah. As long as you keep your socks on, you'll be fine. It's not
gay. Might.
Yeah. Oh. All right. Do you guys plan on doing more nutrients?
No comment.
Like maybe. Oh. Okay. That's pretty good. What's in my garden right now? I got a lot of things in my garden right now. Well, I guess I'll start from the top. I got some calves, sours. Those fucking just germinated. I did a run of those previously. Just tested the shit out of them. Saw what you could really do to them. Like really just push the ever living fuck out of them. Got it all written down. Going to send him those notes as soon as I can. I got some Afghani. I got Blue Dreams. I got Granddaddy Perp. I got some ICANN gang. I got a good amount, man. I keep myself busy. I have really bad ADHD, so I have to keep multiple different strains because you have to, they're different plants. You got to feed them differently, and that helps my ADHD. Keeps me busy. Oh snap. So yeah, that's about what I got in my garden right now.
Keep him busy. I like that.
I am, man. I love it. I just love seeing new strains, and I love a lot of the old strains. A lot of land races I keep around in spare tent. We got Durban Poison, Afghani. Shit, I gotta write that list down. I have like 6 different land races I just keep around, and I've had around for forever, man. And just keep reseeding them and shit, so you keep the genetics nice, because you can't just keep keeping a mom and keep cutting it. Eventually you'll get a genetic drift, and then it won't be that same plant that you had originally. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's the best way to do it.
Smart.
Yeah. I think that's about it. That was good. Yeah.
That was about it. Yeah, small amount there.
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah. What about you? What you growing up?
I've just got some Terpes mutant genetics. I've got a Zacatecus skunk and a cheddar mince, and I've got some Swank genetics GMO cross with papaya runs.
Nice. Gotta see that one. I like a lot of the papayas. They're pretty good.
They're great.
Well, I think that should be about it. We'll wrap it up here. Real quick, if you want to give a shout out to everyone, where we can find you, and yeah.
Of course, man. Thank you. First of all, yeah, of course. Thank you for having me on, man. Absolute pleasure. Very easy conversation. Hell of a host, man. I thank you. Seriously, it was a great time. My YouTube is Pigeons420. You guys already know that. You can find me on Twitch at Pigeons420. Unless you don't game. If you don't game, don't worry. Don't check it out. You won't like it.
No, definitely check it out. Man, Pigeons always saying some funny shit. It's always a good time. It's funny as hell all the time.
It's always a good time over there. We're live almost every night, 9 p.m. Central. And yeah, man, Twitch. I've got a brand new gaming channel as well. You'll never find it because I named it Pigeons. And then I'm battling against an incredible algorithm of pigeons on that one. That was a bit tough. That wasn't a smart move, so that might change again. But yeah, it's quality time. I've got new videos dropping on that channel just about multiple times a week. So yeah, growing that channel as much as I can.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Well, if you change the name, definitely let us know, and I'll throw it in the description. So if people come find this video, they can always find you.
Appreciate it. Yeah, appreciate it. Uncensored over From the Stash Uncensored over on the From the Stash YouTube channel. That's a new show dropping as well. The Uncensored channel. That's what it was. FTS Uncensored. That's brand new dropping. Yeah, I think that's it. I think I got so many channels, so many things, but so I can't remember half of them. But if you find one video in the description, they'll be full of channel links.
Oh yeah. All right, man. It was nice having you. Thank you.
Absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Shout out to everybody who showed up here tonight, man. I appreciate seeing everybody in the chat. Thank you guys so much. You guys are legends.
Oh yeah. Show's nothing without you guys. Thank you for showing up. As always, stay high, my friends.